Hey everyone, this is DZMaven here. It's been a while, hasn't it? So, let me just get something out of the way here first. Why is this so late? Well, a lot of things happened after I did the first part of the Perfect Grade Gundam Exia review. To go over it really briefly, had some computer problems. Making videos got kind of difficult at the time. Had some personal issues come up. Had to deal with that. I got distracted. I had a Nintendo Switch. Just got Breath of the Wild. I got kind of hooked on that for a while. And things just sort of drifted away from Gunpla for me for a while. And eventually I decided to go back to school, which also occupied my time, so I've been pretty busy with college now. But good news is I have finished up my spring classes now, so I'm off for the summer. It means I got some free time now to actually devote to kind of getting back into making videos again. And also, my computer is new. Well, it's 85% new, but the good thing is it's fixed, so I don't have those same computer problems anymore. So, first off, I do want to apologize for those who were looking forward to the second part of this review, and I know some of you were, and this took way too long for me to get to. But anyway, that wait is now over. So let's get to the second part of this review, finally. Okay, so welcome to part 2 of my review of the Perfect Grade Gundam Exia lighting model. In part 1, I covered the internal frame and the lighting system of this kit, and now with the kit completed, it is time to look at the finished product and see what we have. So here it is, the Perfect Grade Gundam Exia completed. This is just the basic Gundam itself here. I will talk about the accessories and the stand a little bit later on with this here, but let's get this guy spinning around so you can see it. So fully built, I do want to say that this is a pretty fantastic looking version of the Gundam Exia. I know there's a few different variation designs of the Exia out there, ranging from the master grade to all the way down to the high grades and the real grade version. And now we had the perfect grade version, which is basically the best interpretation of the Gundam Exia that is out there here. What I especially like about this kit is it's detailed, but it's not overly detailed. So I think it has the right level of surface level detail to the actual parts here. So there's panel lines, there's a lot of different creases and angles to the lines and everything, and I especially like how they kind of incorporated a little bit of a real grade style to the colors on this kit here by having 2 different shades of blue, and there's a slightly off-white, slightly grayer shade of white that's kind of intermixed with the white parts in this kit here. I think it kind of makes it feel like a really big real grade a little bit to me, so I especially like that aspect of this kit here. Just want to talk a little bit about the stickers that are provided with this kit. They do an okay job of giving you a variety of markings for this kit, although I would say the suggested placement on the booklet, as they show you in a few spots, is probably a little off, and I would probably suggest you might want to research a few alternate spots for some stickers, because I found a few where the suggested placement was in a really awkward space, or they put the sticker on top of creases that just didn't seem to fit with the sticker. So I would probably pay attention to that when you're placing your stickers on the kit if you choose to do that. Now, when this kit first came out, there wasn't any immediate options for water slide decals with this kit. But, you know, in the time since I made part 1, there's now actually a few different third-party sets of water slide decals for this kit. So if you want that option, the option is there now, and you especially want to consider using that, especially if you're going to be considering to be fully painting this kit, as I believe water slide kits are best for a fully painted kit. However, you are probably still going to want to hang on to those stickers anyway, because they do still serve a purpose for the GN condensers, as I showed in part 1. So don't throw those away. You're probably still going to want to have those on hand, especially the metallic foil stickers that are on the sticker sheet there. Alright, now I did show you the articulation of the internal frame in part 1, and as you saw, it's actually pretty good, especially for a kit that's all wired up and everything on the inside. But now that I have the kit completed, it's probably worth another look at the articulation just to see how it may have changed with all the external parts added on here. So we're going to go through the articulation of this pretty quick here. I'm going to bring this guy up a little closer here. Going to see him, see if I can get my light a little more up on him. Like that. That's pretty good here. So anyway, starting up here at the head here. Head can look about that way, like that. Look up about that far here. And you still can look down like so here, so not too bad here. I think the only thing about the head is it doesn't really bend back that far here. I kind of wish it would look up a little higher here. But moving on down to the torso here. I'm going to do torso real quick before I do the arms here. So you can rotate about that far. I mean, if you really push it, you can, but parts are gonna pop off. This thing likes to pop off a lot back here where the beam saber attaches. But side to side, like so, pretty nice. I still like this mechanism on the side of the chest here. Okay, so moving on to the arm here. Let's move it back first. You can actually pull it out a little bit here for the extra articulation. You can move it back about that far here. You can move forward about this much here. That's about what you're going to get because you now got some of these parts are kind of in the way now. But it's still pretty good for what it is. We'll push that back. Arm rotation up to about there. Again, you got a wire in there, so it's not going to go completely all the way around here. Shoulder armor, lift up like so. You also got this little piece in here that'll move around when you're moving the arm. Right there. Arm will lift up about that far. That's about what you're going to get with the arm. It's a very tight joint inside the shoulder. I'm not going to try to overstress that because there's wires running through there. Rotation at the arm right here. And elbow bend like so. Pretty good here. Now inside the wrist, I've already showed off the articulated hands before here, but here they are again here. So they got a pretty good range of articulation if you want to show off some emotive expressions with the fingers and everything. While I got this here, I'm probably going to show off the cockpit hatch here, how it opens up. Basically, you want to pull this bottom piece out first like so, and then pull the cockpit hatch down, and now it is opened up, and little Setsuna is inside there, if you can see him. You can see his legs. He's right there. Okay, so moving on down to the skirting armor. The skirting armor is on a double joint, so let's see if I can show this to you here. It extends out on this joint here, and there's another joint like right here. So it comes out like so. So it can fold up out of the way pretty well, or it can fold way down if you want to have it like that for some reason. But there's actually another joint in here, so it can go all the way up like that, so you can have it way out of the way if you want, like that. Back skirting armor, not a whole lot to it. I mean, it will move about that far. It's not that much here. These beam sabers, I forgot these ones will move here a little bit like so. They wiggle around like that. The beam saber rack here, they'll move up like that and then move to the side so the Gundam can grab the beam sabers like so. Anyway, with the leg joint here, we'll go back about that far here and go up about that much here. It will go a little further if you unlock the joint and swing the hips forward. This is actually really hard to do with the parts on now because stuff falls off when I try to do this here, so I'm not going to bother with it right now. It's just too much trouble to try and get this to work properly. But moving on down, let's look at the knee joint here. Again, double swing joint. Moves up just like that. Pretty good here. Moving on down to the foot here. Can move side to side like so. Pretty good here. And can bend forward all the way like that. Bend all the way back like that. Got your toe bend like that. And little wiggly toe at the end here. So as you see, the articulation is still pretty good overall. The armor does kind of hamper it a little bit in places, but I mean, that was pretty much to be expected from me. So, but you know, Bandai did bring back another interesting little feature with this kit here. And they brought back the open hatch feature. This was something you had on many of the older Perfect Grade kits, and lets you open up several hatches on the kit to kind of reveal some inner detail on the kit. So we're going to go through that too here. Okay, so starting from the top here, there is a little hatch right here on the side of the head here. This little thing here moves ever so slightly. I gotta be honest, I don't know what the point of this is, but it's there. It's part of the open hatch gimmick. Over here on the shoulders, these little hatches will open up ever so slightly like that. Open up. There's also these little hatches on the bottom of the shoulders here. These open up like so. Front and back will open up as well. Little antennas will move up and down. They can fold down if you want. Have them up, whatever way you want. Little front pieces, they can open up like so if you want to get them out of the way. This is kind of more for articulation, but I think it looks better in the open hatch mode with these kind of flipped out like that, so you can kind of see what's inside the shoulder joint right there. Now on the back of the torso here, we have the GN drive. Obviously, this little piece will flip up like so. These will open up. These little clamps that hold the GN drive in place, and obviously the GN drive will open up like so with all these flaps here. Like that. And this piece you can unscrew, just rotate it ever so slightly, and then it'll come out just a little bit here. Let's see if I can do it right here. Yeah, like that. It'll rotate out a little bit like that right here. Down along the torso here, these little red pieces on the side of the chest, they will flip out like so. And this whole blue piece right here will fold down, along with the cockpit can open up as well here. So you have it opened up like so. Now also along the forearm here, there's this often neglected little beam blaster pop out here. And this just folds out like so, just like that. Moving on down to the legs, you have this big upper section of the leg. This will fold out. You want to fold the knee down a little bit here and then pull that up like so, so you see some of the detail inside of here. Moving on down the leg here, we have these little hatches on the side. These will open up, sort of flip them open like so. That way you can see what's inside the leg here, and this front part will open up as well here. So you can do this on all the legs here. Okay, so here's like an overall look of the full open hatch mode of the Gundam Exia here. Actually quite a fair bit that opens up on the kit. I mean, I kind of was hoping that maybe there'd be like a little bit more on this, but I think it's probably enough to show off some of the internal detail and make the kit kind of look like it's in maintenance mode. Especially when you have the GN drive disconnected and you put in that separate plug on the back here. It kind of gives the whole impression that the Gundam is kind of in some sort of service mode for here, and everybody's opened up and trying to tinker on and repair it or anything like that. So as I showed in part 1, this kit does come with posable manipulators. They are good for emotive posing, but not so good for holding weapons. For that, Bandai does give you a few sets of fixed pose hands. These all have removable fingers with holding pegs, much like the ones on newer master grades, and they work just the same. Here you have your standard closed fists, you have open hands, basic holding hands, and a pair of angled holding hands. These angled hands work especially well with the beam sabers and the GN blades to let the Exia point its blades straight out. I have tried to use these with the GN sword and they don't quite fit right. You can get the handle in, but the fingers you're not going to be able to put back in place with the GN sword, so I would probably stick with just the regular holding the straight grip hand for the GN sword. Okay, so let's talk about our first accessory here, which is the main weapon of the Gundam Exia, and that is the GN sword. And this thing is huge. This is a huge blade on this thing. This thing is pretty much the size of a kitchen knife. It measures at about 7.5 inches long, so you can see it's pretty much the length, just a little longer than my hand here, so this is a pretty big accessory for this kit here. So as you can see, this is pretty much fully articulated here. The blade will swing out like so and then hook up with the pistol here. There's a little slide lock right here, a little precious little gray tab here that will push that forward, push a little gray piece forward, and it kind of locks into the end of the sword, so it will stay put on the end and won't fall down. In addition, the handle here will move, just kind of pull this blue part down. Handle will move back here so the Exia can hold it in sword mode, much like so. There's a little fold out peg on here. See if I can get that. It's a little hard to get this one out. This is where a toothpick will come in handy, because sometimes you can't get these out with my fingers. Oh well, came out. Okay, yeah, it's on this side here. But there you go. On the other side here, you have this little melee shield. This will move around. There's a little joint right in there, so it can move around, spin around like so if need be. This little piece here will open up, just to reveal a little bit more internal detail inside of there. On the back of the shield here, you have the actual connection that actually plugs into the forearm of the Gundam Exia here. It's on a little track. It can slide back and forth like so, and this can bend around a little bit like so here. I would be a little careful with this bit here, because I have noticed this likes to come apart very easily, like so. Comes apart very easily, and especially if you're trying to take the weapon back off the Gundam, this little plug piece on the end likes to come off. So you might want to keep a pair of pliers on hand just to kind of pull this back out of the forearm. It's really annoying, but I guess you're just going to have to be aware of that. And to attach this to the Gundam Exia, you want to use the straight manipulator here. Take out the hands here and plug this in like so. Going to line up a little connector here on the plug here. Have that plugged into the forearm like so. Try not to have this fall apart on you while you're doing it. And just kind of fold this piece back here and get this lined up with the bottom of the trigger. And there you go. It's on there and it ain't coming off. It's a pretty good connection there. Alright, next up I'm going to talk about the GN shield here. Again, this is a pretty big shield here. It's longer than my hand here, but you know, on the real grade the shield looks so small, but on this perfect grade it's like huge here. So there's actually some mechanical stuff going on in the shield here. Bandai added in a very nice little slide gimmick to kind of open up the shield a little wider here, and it works really simple here. Just kind of grab the bottom and the top ends of it and just pull like so. And you can see it opens up a little bit here, and there's this little bit of some green, clear green plastics you can kind of see under here with some metallic foil sticker under there, so it looks really nice. On the other side here, you have the attachment joint here. It's basically on a slide track here, so you can slide back and forth like so here and can go around. This plugs directly into the forearm of the Exia, just like with the GN sword. It plugs right into here. Get it in here. Let me move the track up a little bit here. And it plugs right in to there. And again, good solid connection. It's not going to fall off. Alright, next up here we have the pair of GN blades, the short and long blade. They're both built pretty much the same way. They just have one blade longer than the other here. They do have kind of an interesting gimmick. I guess you want to call it a transformation gimmick. You can if you want. Basically the blade can slide out like so. It's a little bit extra clear green here, and the sort of a guard here on the front, this can slide down a little bit like so here. And there's a little fold out tab for the fixed pose hands on the bottom here. Additionally, when the GN sword is being held on the waist attachments here, there's a little clip that pulls out like so, and then this whole piece here can kind of move around like so to hook into the side of the hip here. Now a little connection here is kind of on the side of the hip here. You kind of want to pull this out here like so, and as you can see there's a little spot here for the GN blades to kind of hook into right there here. I have found this does require a little bit of technique and finesse to kind of get these in here. You want to line the clip up, and you can see here my hand's kind of getting in the way here, just with that like so, and just kind of, you have to kind of push it in there till it clicks. And that was not a click here. Let's try that again. There we go. Clicked. Now it's in there, and it's not gonna fall off now. But now by now you've probably also noticed that these blades kind of have a silver color to them here. These come pre-painted with the kit here. It's a very nice sort of not really a very chromy silver here. It's very much like the silver color you saw on the Hyaku Shiki 2.0. I think it's pretty much the same sort of color, just minus the yellow clear coat on it. So I think it looks really nice here, and Bandai did a really nice job of undergating all these parts here, so you really don't see any of the nub marks on these at all when you clip them out here, so they look really nice here. Now the last weapon here on the Exia is going to be these beam sabers here. You get 4 of them. 2 are on the back skirt armor here, and 2 on the back of the shoulders here. They're all built identically, so there's really no difference between them here. They're all the same. I do kind of want to point out here, sometimes the ones here on the back skirt armor fall off really easily. Sometimes the ones in the shoulders too, so it's not the best connection on these, and just kind of want to keep an eye on these so they don't fall off and you don't lose these while you're moving the kit around. Okay, so talking about these beam sabers here, they have their little tab that folds out here for the holding hands right here, and you get 2 different sets of blades. For these here, you get a short blade and a long blade for this here. They both plug in like so. So you have your long beam saber, and you have your short beam saber. Pretty nice. There is one limitation with the beam sabers that I have noticed here with this kit here. Because of the way these tabs are only on one side of the beam sabers and the way the fixed pose hand tabs are arranged, there's really no way to have the beam saber held underhand with the fixed pose hands like this. It just won't work, so if you want to try and hold this underhanded, you're probably going to have to use the posable hands to try and get that effect here with this here, but it will be at the risk of having a very loose grip around the beam saber, so just kind of keep that in mind. And in case you were wondering, yes, the Perfect Grade Exia can reach all of the beam sabers on it, including the ones that are on the back of the shoulder here. This is probably one of the few kits of the Exia that can actually pull that off and make it look natural, so definitely a thumbs up to Bandai for managing to pull that one off. Well, with that, everything is now equipped on the Gundam Exia, and what a loadout. You got the GN sword, you got the 2 GN blades, you got the 4 beam sabers, and you have the shield. So this is the full loadout of the Perfect Grade Gundam Exia here. And with all of this here, it does add to the weight a little bit and a little stability of it. It will stand up with all of this stuff equipped to it, but it does get a little top heavy, so do keep an eye on it here. It has fell down on me a couple times here like this here, so. But you do have the stand, so you might want to use the stand for this. Alright, well, there are a few other items that are still kind of left behind. First off, we do have our little pilot figure of Setsuna FC in 1/60th scale here. I went ahead and added a little bit of panel line wash to him to kind of fill out the details on him here, so you have that. As I mentioned earlier, you do have this little plug piece for the GN drive, so if you want to take the GN drive out of the Gundam, you can kind of put that in there to kind of cover up the big hole on the back of the chest. If you do get the lighting model version of this kit here, you will notice that you do get a few extra parts here. You get these here, including a little extra clear green piece here. This goes inside the GN drive and replaces part of the electronic module that goes inside of it. Along with these 2 pieces, they basically replace the electronic contacts that are inside the chest and the GN drive here, so they would replace it and hook together like so inside the chest, like that. Now, last thing I'm going to mention about the accessories, that you can store most of them underneath inside the base, which is kind of a pretty nice feature. It is handy to kind of keep all your accessories there in one place. However, I have noticed that sometimes things will just fall out of the bottom of this here, and a few pieces, if you push them in all the way, they're really hard to get back out again. So I put the shield in there all the way in there one time, and I tried taking it back out, and pretty much the shield fell apart into pieces when I tried to take it out. So I think it will probably still be there to keep your accessories in like a little part baggie somewhere aside somewhere, and keep all your larger parts in a box so you can kind of keep it all together and not lose anything. Okay, so back in part 1, I did show off the lighting system with the frame only of the Gundam Exia. Now that the kit is complete, we can show off how this looks in the completed kit here. So once again, I'm going to cycle through the different lighting modes of the kit here. I have the lights turned off in my photo booth here, so you can see the lights a lot easier. So as we turn it on, as I probably showed earlier, the GN drive will spin up, start up, and you have the lights on the head, and the torso will turn on here. Now to press here, we get the GN cables lighting up with our nice blue color here. And if we press it one more time, we go into this half and half mode here where the GN condenser cables are sort of charging up here. And one more press, we go into Trans Am mode here. Pretty sweet here. And press one more time, turns off, and then it starts over here. So it's all looking pretty good here. Now in the time since I filmed part 1 here, I discovered that there is actually an additional lighting mode on this kit here. It's kind of a little bit of an Easter egg, but I'm going to show you how to do it here right now, and this is actually really cool here. So let me pick up the kit here and show you here the buttons on the front here. So in order to get to this different lighting mode here, you have to basically hold the button down here and press the switch at the same time here. That now puts the Exia into sort of a testing mode for the lights here. I'm going to flip them around here. So right now we have the GN drive is on. If we press the buttons, it will cycle through the different rotational phases of the GN drive here. Eventually we will get to a point where we will light up just the green lights on the head and the torso here. If we press the button one more time, it will turn off, and press it again here, and now we have just the blue lights of the LED on, so that pretty much just lights up all the GN cables on the kit here, as you can see here. Now if we press it one more time here, we get this. We get the red mode of the Gundam Exia here. So the sensors and all the GN cables will now be in the sort of a darker red color here. The GN drive itself will not be lit up, but you will notice that we do have a violet color in the eyes and the sensors of the Gundam Exia now, which is really cool looking here. And just think about it, you probably would not have known about this if you hadn't watched this video here, so pretty cool here. If we press the button one more time here, that will turn off, and we get one more little Easter egg here. The GN drive will now have a purple color to it, and this will cycle through different rotation phases too. And then it just sort of starts over again to go back to lining up the head here. So that's really neat here. And if you kind of think about it, if you look at this here, this looks a lot like the lighting color system you would possibly see on the Dark Matter Exia. Now I'm not really suggesting that Bandai is going to make a perfect grade Dark Matter Exia, but if they were to do it, they have the lighting system already programmed in here, so all they would have to do is tweak the lighting system so you could get this color scheme on it. So just a thought here. But also, if somebody were to do a custom color Exia and want to use this color scheme for it, there you go, it's right there. Now there are the third-party lighting kits, and I'm sure some of them will have some different features and options. You can do some different lighting effects with those, so that's certainly still a option. As the first perfect grade of the Gunpla Evolution project, I think this kit definitely raises the bar and sets a high standard for future kits that are kind of going to follow in this sort of design idea that Bandai is setting forth here, with a high price tag to boot here. Only you can decide if the lighting version is going to be worth the extra money over the less expensive normal version. But as I mentioned here, there are some third-party lighting kits available for this kit now, so those are probably going to be cheaper than the Bandai kit that is available. You can buy the Bandai lighting kit for the Exia now separately. So if you did buy the standard kit back when it first came out, you do have the option to get the lighting system for it now. But you might want to consider looking into some of the third-party options just to see if there might be something better out there. In addition, I do kind of want to add on here, I think there are a few third-party lighting kits that do offer USB power directly from an outlet to the kit, so you can have the kit lit up much longer than just on battery power, which, come to think of it, this is something that Bandai probably should consider doing in the future. Include some sort of USB AC adapter power for these lighted kits here, that way you can have them lit most of the time here. I mean, Bandai should do it. You're paying enough money for the lighting kits anyway, so come on, Bandai, get with the times here. Batteries are so 20th century now. So pretty much at the end of this review, what would I give this kit here? To me, this perfect grade is a 10 out of 10 here. I don't think there's a whole lot more Bandai could have done to make this kit better. You know, in hindsight, like I said, I would have liked to have the USB power option for it, but maybe a few other different lighting modes. But you know, the potential is there for something really awesome here with this kit here. And should you choose to fully paint this kit and do something custom with it, you're gonna probably have a hell of a good time with it. And even just building this thing was a fun experience for me. So it's got great accessories, looks great either lighted or unlighted, and the posability is actually pretty good considering everything that's going on here. So I give this kit pretty much a full recommendation, provided you feel like it's worth the extra cost to you for the lighting system. So, but anyway, that's going to be it for me. I know this second part of this review was a long time coming, so thanks for sticking with me and waiting for this here. I'm going to try to do something for some other reviews in the future here and try to continue this a little bit here. I don't know how much I'm going to get done this summer here, but stay tuned. I have built some more kits back in 2017 that I haven't reviewed, so I would like to talk about those a little bit here. So anyway, guys, leave a like if you like the video, dislike it if you don't, leave some comments below, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. See you next time.